All right, we're back with another Infinite Quality podcast, live on Twitch, live on YouTube, and live on Kick.
For the
What?
first
Really?
time.
Yes,
Actually.
link in the chat, link in the description,
For
whatever
the
it is.
first time ever.
Hey, if we're gonna talk about Kick, we should probably be there.
Hey, listen.
I'm not planning on continually streaming on Kick or anything for the podcast. Maybe I just figured
Right.
just kind of fun to just.
Yeah, maybe. Not.
Yeah.
So today's episode number 40, and we're actually talking about Kick. So that's why I did that. I actually wasn't going to tell you guys, but I kind of spoiled it early.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're live on Kick because we want to talk about Kick. So for those who don't know, Kick.com is like a new competitor live stream platform, and everybody is has feelings. It invokes the feelings.
That's feeling.
So
My feels. Why can't I hold all of them?
how are you? How
Again.
have you guys? You guys have all done a little bit of checking into Kick.
Yeah. Like I said, I've looked at it.
Right. I just want to give
Saw
everyone
it visual.
context. Yeah, I've spent some time there. I actually wasn't interested in it, and I kind of fell into the trap early on of the Twitter lies. There's been a lot of Twittering rumors and stuff out there about Kick as a platform. And Twitter, will start a little bit of a hate rage machine on things like new platforms like this typically and call out all the big problems with it. And there are problems with it for sure. I don't think the problems that people are pointing to with Kick are actually exclusive to Kick. And so that if you're gonna rule out Kick, for based on rumors and stuff, that would be like I think the first mistake. I think the first thing you should do is just go look at the website and see.
Well, your first mistake is
going
looking at Twitter. Your second
Do
mistake
your
is listening
own
to Twitter.
research.
Correct.
The
Correct.
second mistake is listening to Twitter, and then
Right.
it
Right.
snowballs from there.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I can't take credit for this. I think you came up with it. I believe it was like you said. It looks like a weird reskin of Twitch. Like that's exactly what it looks
with
like.
a desire to encourage gambling addiction.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen the gambling bit, but I believe you.
Yeah. No, it's
How do you
there.
not see the gambling
Yeah.
bit?
It's like right there.
Yeah, it's
It's
there.
owned by a gambling company.
Is it?
Hey,
I
Yeah, oh
don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Have you
It is.
seen slots?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I
it's-
haven't.
It's there. It's
But
definitely
in
there.
fairness, like I said, I've spent so little time on it that I probably am clueless as to what actually goes on. You could have a whole bunch of things going on this website, and I wouldn't know it. So
Yeah, well, there is a whole bunch of stuff on the website that is problematic for sure, and they're going to have to deal with it if they want it to be kind of actually competitive with Twitch. But Twitch also went through these growing pains themselves. Like I remember a time. There's been plenty of times where I've even recently found stuff on Twitch that I'm like, this is not allowed. Porn, straight up people just broadcasting porn like right just playing a game, and there's just a clip of porn just like in the corner, just like playing in the corner of the stream.
why?
I don't know. Just
Do
go
they-
stream on Pornhub.
I was gonna say like, why don't you cut the middleman out? Like I feel like you
Yeah,
get more viewers.
there's
yeah.
way more people on Pornhub. Just go over there and stream. Like,
And then just have the game up in the corner.
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
like, the reverse.
We all know what they're looking for, right?
Right? Yeah, but the game is there just to say that you're a streamer.
yeah, true, very true.
I mean, like it's the first thing that strikes me about Kick is like they're going for this weird color scheme where like Twitch is all like blues and reds and they're all like greens and yellows and stuff. It's like legally distinct Twitch basically. Like I think they're doing like the bare minimum to not get sued for like UI infringement.
It is a clone. It is like straight up
Oh
a
my God,
clone.
even the categories are the same.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
categories.
it's literally a clone.
Yeah.
Like they use the same
They had to have used a lot
exact
of
thing.
yeah, a lot of the same stuff. And I mean, okay, whatever. If that's a lawsuit waiting to happen, then
that's a lawsuit.
that's on them, right? That's not on us. I don't know if that should impact the creator at all. But the thing that interests me the most, okay, so I guess we should just talk about like kind of people's main concerns with Kick as a platform. and being associated with like the cryptocurrency side of it and the gambling side of it. So,
I
do we
just
want
found
to
a
go
gambling
into
category,
gambling?
actually.
Like how we feel about gambling? Do we want to have a whole discussion on that, or is that even relevant to this? Like, I feel like it's easy to kind of rule out, but I don't know. I don't want to
I
rabbit trail.
mean, there's inherently nothing wrong with gambling, but there is. So, obviously, like, gambling doesn't belong in certain spaces, like where impressionable people might have access to it.
Right,
And
right. Like
Twitch
children,
is, and Twitch is targeted at, young
13-year-old.
adults and kids. Yeah. And if Kick is being a clone of that, it stands to reason that they're also trying to court a somewhat younger audience. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily put that out front, but at the same time, it's not illegal.
Yeah.
There's no
But
law.
looking at
Well, they're gonna
their
put it out
terms of-
front because it's gambling. So
Yeah, their terms of service, though, I will say, I looked at their terms of service. I looked at some of their stuff about revenue split, and their terms of service, when it comes to like mature versus not, is a lot more specific.
Yeah, it's very clear.
It's very specific. It's very clear, which I actually think is a good thing.
Yeah, you're actually
Um,
you mean the community guidelines, just to
Yeah,
so,
sorry.
Yeah. Everybody
So-
says TOS, but it's the community.
Whatever,
It
same
is
thing.
because the
It's
T-
very clear, like what delineates an 18 plus versus not, and that is quite different than Twitch, which really doesn't do a good job of having any true delineation and any enforcement of that mature tag that's involved with with Twitch. The mature tag in Twitch is really kind of superfluous.
Yeah,
where
it is.
It looks to me in Kick that they have like if you are drinking, if you are smoking, if you are gambling.
if you're playing a game with
it's-
nudity,
Yeah,
Yep.
it's 18 plus, and if you don't mark it as 18 plus, we will mark it as 18 plus.
yeah,
So that is one distinction. The revenue split is also an interesting distinction, and I'm curious how they're actually going to be able to fund Kick long term.
because it's gambling.
well, they
Yeah, they're
can.
gonna fund
They
it with
have
gambling, yeah.
they have plenty of
Yes.
money.
They make all the
Yeah.
money off the people gambling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
Guess
it's
so.
owned by
You-
stake.
You can float a lot of stuff with gambling ads, especially because if you look at it from that perspective, right? Every big name that they bring over and float, that's that many more people who are now in front of a gambling ad at some point in their experience, right? So
yeah.
but
But
you could definitely float quite a bit that way.
like I personally don't think gambling is a good thing, but I'm more of a libertarian. Like I just want people to be informed of what their choices are and then make whatever choices they want after that. But I don't think this kind of stuff should be in front of a younger audience. I think
Well, I
that
mean,
there's a concern there.
For sure, there's also concern with any age group that their gambling addiction is a thing.
Yeah.
Gambling is very
For sure.
addictive for a reason.
But so are
Um,
video games.
Yeah,
and
and the same can be said of anything, but
Yeah.
like gambling in particular,
food.
when combined with like this sort of flashy atmosphere, like that's why casinos are brightly lit, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's why casinos aren't in a dingy basement. That's why casinos are grand, operatic buildings and flashing lights and all that stuff. It's designed to make you shut off and gamble. So,
Mhm.
kind
Yeah.
of getting the same feel from that here.
Yeah. Well, okay. So a lot of the first argument people bring up is, well, it's owned by a gambling company, and it's like, well, Amazon's not exactly perfect either, right? And like, if I kind of can't see this argument of like who owns the company as being all that important these days, because a company is not one person, and companies are never perfect. There's always some kind of problem. Like capitalism in general just allows for these problems to kind of exist. And so it's very hard to look at who owns a thing and then make your judgment on whether or not you want to be there because of that. If you
the only
dig
thing I
deep
would-
enough, like remember like Blizzard, Blizzard, everybody was against Blizzard and stopped playing World of Warcraft, and now Diablo 4 is out and everybody's playing Diablo 4 and nobody cares about all the allegations against Blizzard. Like it just went out the window.
Because Microsoft bought them out. No, what I would say about that
Did,
is
did
like,
that go through?
I don't know.
I don't know if it
possibly.
did.
The thing is, though, however, like for example, however shitty Amazon might be, Amazon primary goal isn't to be shitty. If that
No,
makes
but they
sense.
do shitty
Like,
things.
That's just stuff that happens along the way. Whereas a gambling site's primary goal is to be a gambling site,
Right.
and if we agree that gambling is not something that we should be promoting, well, that's their main goal now. It's not a
Right.
consequence of their business. It is the aim of the business, right?
So to Kick's benefit, though, I've spent a lot of time on Kick and haven't felt like the gambling thing's been shoved into my face any more than anything else has been shoved into my face on the site.
which is probably the best way to go about it, honestly.
It's
too,
just
if you have
there.
to have gambling.
Yeah, it's just there, and that's it. And Trainwrecks, as a part of his like whole deal with it, is very clear. He's don't gamble. Like he's got a whole bunch of like anti-gambling stuff while he's gambling all over his stream, right? He's like, I'm not gambling with my own money. You shouldn't gamble with money that you need. Like all this stuff. Like don't do it. Don't gamble. Like he's like actively saying don't do it. And like so, there's
as
like
he
this.
spins a roulette wheel,
Yeah, it's true.
Sure.
It's true.
Hypocrisy.
Yeah.
It's very easy to gamble with money that somebody else gave you to spend,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
like I get that, but again, and that goes to the argument of like how much of it should we hold the website accountable for versus how much we should hold individual creators accountable for, right?
Correct.
Because you could choose as a creator not to gamble on stream, right?
That's a great way to look
Choose
at
to
it.
do that. So
Yeah, I would like to go for this discussion to be kind of headed towards individual creators and how they should approach it for themselves, because there is no, there's all these like everybody's gonna get all up in arms about something. If you buy shoes, somebody's gonna be upset that you bought shoes because they were manufactured in a country that does some XYZ to people group. And there's always something wrong with some company. It's almost impossible to live in a capitalistic society where everything is like above board.
But I will say though, as an individual creator, if I'm streaming on Kick, for example, right, I would like to know that a mid-roll ad isn't going to come up that's going to advertise Bitcoin or
Right.
Ethereum to my viewers or whatever, because I firmly am against that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So that goes to the point is like now now that they're picking up a little bit of steam, we have to kind of see where they're going to go with it, or like is the gambling thing really just going to be something that they have on the side, or is the actual ulterior motive here get them here and then blitz them with the gambling, right? So,
Right. I don't know. I don't think
fees and all
so.
that.
I don't think so. I actually think that now I have no, it's all speculative, but so
the problem, right?
honestly, like looking at the future of Kick is a mystery. And I don't know if we should even discuss, because it's just all potential and it's all rabbit holes. We really don't know what's going to happen with Kick. So I feel like it would be safer for us to actually discuss the current situation on Kick and the good things and bad things about Kick in general. So you mentioned like having an ad in the middle of your stream. So this is one of the first positives about Kick right now for streaming. No ads.
Mm-hmm.
Zero ad experience. It feels exactly like how Twitch did before they started slowly piling in all these ads onto streams, the pre-rolls and the mid-rolls and all the stuff. Like ads are just gone. They're not on your stream at all. And so browsing the platform feels so good. Like trying to find streams on Kick that are interesting is a nice experience because there's no interruptions. Nothing is being shoved in your face. The stream comes right on. You can chat right away. There's no interruptions at all. And that feels great. That's one of the biggest benefits right now to being on Kick, is that you can stream and have that feeling of just being live and no worries about ads. That's why I was like, you guys should try streaming now.
Yeah.
For now, that is
now.
true. But the expectation is it needs to stay that way to be good. If it's going to compete with Twitch.
I think we all kind of have like short-term memories. There have been other competitors to Twitch. Where are they now? Well, let's take a guess.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
all
like,
we really
Well,
we have
that's
some
complicated.
really small competitors, right? So I mean, Mixer did whatever. Then you
Mixer
have
was
YouTube.
being successful. Just to be clear, it didn't die because it wasn't being successful. Microsoft just gave up on it. Like
Well,
the executives
clearly, I
gave
mean,
up.
then it wasn't successful enough.
No, it
for
was.
them.
It was.
Like,
They had
you know.
no. It was. You'd have to actually look pretty deep into it. But as far as I've seen, it wasn't a profitability thing. They were fine. It was, the problem was some other things. people projects fall apart because of people, a lot of times, right?
True, but a profitable enough venture will survive a lot of that because people are also profit driven, or at least companies are.
As far as I
So,
know,
like,
Mixer didn't fall apart because they weren't making money. That wasn't the problem.
But all I'm gonna say is they weren't making enough money to get past whatever it is.
No,
that
I'm
puts them
saying
down,
that
right?
I'm saying as far as I've looked into it, that's not what happened. Yeah, that's speculative. There's a lot of
Well,
speculation
and
that
that's-
that's
yeah, we
why
don't-
they
we
fell
don't
apart.
know, yeah.
But I'm saying there's evidence that points to other things that went wrong, and it wasn't profitable. The profitability
Well,
of the platform.
regardless, like it didn't survive, right? For
Right.
whatever reason.
True.
Right, and then we have
Long
YouTube.
way
We
with
have YouTube gaming, which still lags behind Twitch. We have Facebook gaming, which I feel like had a moment like a year and a half ago, and really just has not been relevant.
I totally
At
forgot
all.
about it till you just said
it
it.
flopped. It
Yeah.
flopped
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
hard.
But it still technically exists.
It does.
But then
It
you have all
exists.
these kind of small
Small ones,
spaces,
yeah.
like DLive, Vimeo. Like there are other places that have streaming services, and actually some of them have even existed before or prior to Twitch. They just haven't set themselves apart in a way that makes them a consistent, viable competitor for Twitch.
Right.
You know, so
They
it's
also
not like
don't
we
feel like
haven't seen this
Twitch.
before. But do we want something that feels like Twitch?
A little
Like,
bit.
why
A
do we
little
want
bit.
Another thing that feels like
Well,
Twitch?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Kick is the one that's doing the best as a competitor right now, and it looks just like Twitch. So
And it has emotes.
Mysteriously.
No, it's
Like,
the
seriously.
culture, the emotes, like all the kind of stuff that you need to make it feel like that live stream experience. I think the reason you do want it to feel like Twitch is because Twitch feels good.
Well, I think
Like you want to have that. You don't want to lose that on a different platform. You just want to game
Twitch-
things.
Twitch has sort of become the de facto experience for streaming, though. Like, you know, especially with the epidemic and everything, when there was a spike in, a large spike in people going to Twitch and an increase on that.
I know, but
Like Twitch has sort of become the shorthand for like, hey, like if you ask a layman, somebody who isn't necessarily an internet dweller, to what they think of a video game stream would be like, they'd probably describe something that you see on Twitch.
it
because
feels
that's
worse
their
on Twitch
experience
though.
of it.
Like Twitch is worse than it's ever been with the experience with the ads.
That
Well,
we
but I
can
mean, that's true
obviously
for
we could
so
talk
many
about
big
that,
companies.
but yeah.
But I mean, that's
the
true for a lot-
overall feel of it. Sorry, go ahead.
We're all so passionate tonight.
We
This is
are.
a good one. This is a good one.
Well, I mean, that's true for so many of the experiences. I mean, God, how many times does YouTube ask me to get, what is it, YouTube Red or whatever it is, like constantly?
Premium,
Take
and now-
this
yeah, it's-
survey. Take this survey. Here's an ad. And like every stream now is sponsored, or sorry, it's not stream. Every video has like, if you have more than, a couple thousand views, they get sponsored. So they even like within their videos have a minute and a half of whatever
Yeah, the
sponsors
ad
them
inside. Yeah.
in between the actual ads. So it's like
Yeah.
you have this weird adception, and
Adception,
YouTube
yeah.
is still doing okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think that the ad experience is it's a pain,
I don't
But I
watch ads
think-
on YouTube though. I pay for premium.
but
But-
I'm not willing to do that.
But
So I do
YouTube,
pay for
YouTube
premium.
also famously, and this is true, you could skip it by fast forwarding,
Correct.
whereas you can't really do that on a live stream.
Right.
Sure,
I can fast
sure.
forward an ad, especially I saw not to distract too much from the conversation. I saw one video, I forget which one it was, that actually had a little yellow bar at the bottom that would fill up
Right.
to indicate how close the ad was to being finished.
And on YouTube, you can like say, I don't want this. I want only this many ads, or I want like a shorter ad. You can like
Yeah.
have way more control over it. Whereas on Twitch, it's like you either have pre rolls or you have mid rolls, and we're gonna run them up for you, or you're gonna run them. And it's like not much of a choice, not much of an option.
And then every time your stream crashes, like mine does, and then you have to rewatch the
Oh,
ad.
then everybody has to watch the ad again. It's the same ads too. They have a
Yeah.
lot more advertisers on YouTube than they do on.
It's fair, yeah. But I mean, then you also have like the challenges with content creators on YouTube with demonetization, and there's been a lot of demonetization of YouTube content lately too. So I mean, no place is perfect from any perspective.
Right. Yeah. Perfection we aren't going to find. That's true. But so like it feels, my point was it just feels really good to stream without ads. That's what I'm seeing. That's what the experience that I'm seeing from creators. So I'm watching people stream on Kick, and I'm asking them, people who I know were on Twitch, they moved over to Kick. I've watched people who are struggling on Twitch for the past 3 or 4 years with 5 or less viewers they're up to 80 viewers on Kick, just in a couple weeks. Through
mean,
like
that-
the natural thing that we've always said works on Twitch, networking, rating people, being active, paying attention to chat, just like the normal advice seems to actually be kind of effective for people on Kick right now, which is really interesting.
Well, the only issue there is how long is that going to be a thing, right? Because like, Kick still has that new car smell. Like when that
Right.
wears off, like again, we don't know what the viability is going to be like. Hell, 2 weeks from now, much less.
That's
kind of
true.
a
But
realistic time frame. So
you could migrate those people to your Twitch channel.
can you?
Yeah,
That's
you
a
can
good question.
you can migrate some, dude. I've got people showing up in the chat here in IQ that are from my Twitch channel. That's a totally different Twitch channel. They come in and they say hello and stuff, and they're from years ago, from 2015, 2016 is when I met them.
But the only thing I would say is like how much of Kick's audience is actually just Twitch people checking out Kick.
Oh,
And
it's
then they'll
100.
go
It's
back to
100%.
Twitch.
There's no one.
And
Yeah,
then,
it's
and then they'll
100%.
go back to Twitch when they get bored with it.
Maybe,
Right?
maybe.
Because there's like this weird sunk cost fallacy. Like MMOs have this. You eventually just default back to the whichever one you spent the most time in.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
you don't want to waste all the effort that you've put in.
Right.
Into
There's less
making
of a
what you
sunk
have.
fallacy cost though, because you don't have that similar like cash, like bank of all
Oh,
this
yeah.
stuff. Like,
There's less, yeah, but still it exists.
and when you go to Kick and you look at the emotes, like the global emotes, it's just all better Twitch TV emotes. It's just all just a giant wall of like, it feels like Kick feels like Twitch in a similar way.
Yeah, it's like Twitch before Twitch became big.
Yeah, it is in a lot of ways. And
Which,
then,
but then when Kick blows up, right?
What's gonna happen?
What's gonna happen?
well, then either Twitch is going to have to become competitive, which would be really good, right?
People said that about Mixer too. And
Yeah,
it didn't
Mixer
happen.
Mixer
People
didn't
said
live that
about
long.
YouTube.
To
I
be
know,
fair,
but,
Mixer
like,
didn't
but-
live long enough.
True, but that's the story that we always hear is, well, if this alternative survives, Twitch will have to be competitive. Meanwhile, Twitch is laughing because none of the competitors survive. And
Okay,
they
that's
are
true.
banking on that.
A lot of streamers have left for Kick though, a lot, and it's because of the sub split. So you guys know what the
True,
sub
but
split is?
a lot of people left from Mixer too at one point. Do you remember there was a big, quote unquote exodus
Good
of
job.
streamers?
Right, but they
Yeah.
all would have stayed if Mixer still existed.
Right, but it doesn't exist, and this is where we're back to. Oh, hey, look, your
Right, but you
alternative
can't.
now is Twitch again.
It's a false equivalency to say Kick is going to fail because Mixer failed. That's not fair.
Well, no, that's not what I'm
That's fair,
saying. Is
yeah.
what I'm saying is that we don't know what Kick is going to be like. It's not that
I'm just saying the
we have
assumption
We don't know
that-
what
no
Twitch
idea
is going to
what
be
it
like.
Yeah,
It's,
Twitch.
No, we
it's
don't.
a higher risk
True.
versus reward, right? So
That's a good point.
It's more of like a high risk investment, but if it works out, then maybe it'll be really worthwhile.
Is it high risk?
Before, I mean,
What about its high risk? I'm curious.
Wait, which part is high risk?
Yeah.
well, so what I'm saying is like if you just put all your eggs in Kick, right?
Well, I
There's
wouldn't
not a-
suggest that.
Well,
But let's say you did.
what I'm saying is if you go, okay, I'm just going to move everything over to Kick. Because this is what happens, right? Early adopters of something that blows up tend to do really, really well.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't blow up, you're not benefiting from it, right? So you have to be willing to put that time and effort to stand out on a platform that may not go anywhere.
So I'm
And if you're willing to do that, absolutely.
what I'm seeing a lot of people do is just stream to both Kick and Twitch at the same time, and just let it
But
go.
that's not
Let it
really
go.
that's not really committing to Kick though, is it? Because you're still
Why
you're
not?
holding
are you,
Twitch
are you
in
interacting
your
with
back
both
pocket.
of those are you interacting
Yeah,
with both
they
of
are.
those channels?
Yeah. As far as I've seen, they're doing a fine job.
But again, that's just you're
hate to do
keeping
that.
Twitch in your back pocket because why? Because you're afraid that if Kick
No,
doesn't
that's
work
just
out, you'll
smart
have a-
business. That's just a good
No,
business
it is
decision.
smart business. That's it's risk mitigation. That's what all businesses do. Right?
Yeah.
But like, it's to me, it's like one of those things where I think it's too early to speculate about anything about Kick. It's just we don't have enough data.
Right. I don't want to do much speculation. I just want to say I think it's right now. I don't think it's actually harmful to stream over there.
I think it's incredibly low risk to stream.
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
I wouldn't say low risk. I would say it's about as risky as streaming anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, co-streaming, I know Twitch kind of is funky about that sometimes, but
Yeah, that's
they usually
between
don't
the creator and
enforce
Twitch.
it.
They can do it.
But I mean, okay, so let's take like D Live for example, right? Was that back in 2019? PewDiePie went over and started streaming on D Live, and the moment his contract ended, he moved back to YouTube.
Right.
Like, what is going to set Kick apart?
So
I haven't seen that yet.
One of the things that's not happening with Kick is that they are not poaching creators from Twitch by offering them giant contracts to move. That's what Mixer did. People are willingly moving to Kick. So this is one of the bigger differences. Like DLive made a contract with PewDiePie, right? Mixer made a contract with Shroud, and they just paid out a giant portion of money and said, "Come stream on our platform." That's not really what's happening on Kick. Kick's just like, "Hey, we have a good subsplit. You can move here if you want," and people are doing it. So that's kind of why it may work, because they're not buying streamers to try and move over. They're not like paying for the move. They're just offering like a good place, a good deal in general, and saying, "Hey, we'll keep this deal."
Well, and that's why they are trying to look a lot like Twitch, right? They're trying to fake that experience by, saying like, "Oh, hey, look, here's something that's oddly and oddly familiar and comforting, but not quite." It's
Right.
different.
Did Trainwreck get a contract to go over?
He's one of the owners, as far as I know.
He started the whole thing, or, yeah.
He's him and Steak put this whole thing together. So we have a Twitch streamer kind of like running this thing.
He wants
Which,
to create
I
an
don't know.
alternate to Twitch.
That's
that's
that's,
not
a
exactly a
huge
bonus.
change. We're not talking about Microsoft being like, "Let's make a competitor." We're having a Twitch streamer go, "Let's make a competitor," which is
Well, then why didn't
Right.
he just reskin it? Like, why didn't he do something better? The only thing that's different is ads and splits, but like it's
because he doesn't
literally-
think it's broken. He likes Twitch. He thinks the parts that are broken about Twitch are the ads and the subsplit.
And yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I just listen. I know.
I think getting
I know
hung
quite
up
a
on
few
how
streamers.
generic it looks is not the point.
Yeah,
Fair.
yeah.
Because we like things that we already know.
Yeah.
Which is
Like
why
the
like
game.
games will re-release the same game like 3 times.
Souls.
Well, not even just like
not even Souls, sports
not
games.
even Souls.
Yeah,
like,
sports games.
They
That's
just
true.
released. They
How
just
many
released
FIFAs do you need?
All of them.
Callisto
All the FIFAs.
Protocol. Callisto
All- yeah, all
Protocol
of them.
came out as like, ooh, we are the guys who made Dead Space, and people were like, eh. And then EA was like, okay, we're remaking Dead Space, and they were like, holy shit, this is the only game I want to play for the rest of my life. Like, we want things we already know we like. We don't
Yeah.
like things that are different.
Yeah, true.
But
So
then they
that's-
blow up, right?
Sure.
So that's the thing, because there's really only one Twitter. There's really only one TikTok. They're all different.
It's hard to follow, after somebody who's, trailblazed sometimes, and that's,
Yeah.
a lot of these places are, they're the ones that did it either first or did it the biggest.
I
Twitter's a
think
big
we
example
do
where-
need a healthy competitor to Twitch though, because
Oh
it
no,
just
I
feels.
agree with you that we need one, but
Yeah, we need our like. If we're MySpace, we need a Facebook, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean that's the thing.
What
and
a
I don't
dated
think Kick's a
reference.
Facebook.
yeah.
But we're all of that ilk,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, we
Yeah.
are
Like
actually. It's-
that's
yeah.
really the big.
We all did that.
But that's the lateral jump I'm thinking of. Like the thing
Mhm.
that's really similar is that those two social media platforms were exceedingly similar to one another, and one ultimately died off to be replaced by that better version, right?
Mhm.
So I think you need something that is different enough, but in the same ilk that it will stand out. And
right
I'm
now,
not really
I think,
convinced yet that Kick's in that space.
I think that it is, just because the culture right now is very Wild West. It's
Mhm.
very like early Twitch. Because if we're talking about Twitch kind of plateauing and being
Which it has.
vanilla and boring and all of that, like Kick is new and exciting, and they could leverage that in the right way right now to make it more, to make it something different enough from Twitch to find its own space. But they have to start somewhere, and
Yeah.
that
So-
starting
Yeah,
point
that's
is
fair.
Let, let's talk about the other major difference from a streamer perspective with Kick right now. So it feels really good to not have ads. That's one thing, right? I said that earlier. So the other big thing is the sub split. And let me explain, there's a psychological reason, okay? And I noticed this kind of happening between the streams that I was watching. They unlocked affiliate, people would sub, and it would feel really good to the streamer to get a sub. Like, something is massively different between the subs over on Kick and the subs on Twitch. When people sub on Twitch, there's always like this feeling of like, thank you so much for the sub. I kind of wish you had tipped, right? Like, I don't get I get 50% of what you just did by clicking that sub button. I'm so grateful that you're supporting the stream, but you know, if you guys really want to support the stream, now you're like pitching, oh, by the way, if you want to support the stream, I got a Patreon. You can tip the stream directly. That's the best way to support. You go into like this sales pitch mode where now it's like you want to kind of de-incentivize the subs, and that's all gone. That's all gone on Kick. No, there's no pitching of anything. There's no call to actions. People just sub, and you're like, I got 95 cents on that dollar or whatever, the $3 you just gave me. So it feels really good. You don't have to ask for support on other channels. You don't have to. You just say thank you. That I really appreciate the support, and the support is real. It feels really good. There's like a healthy relationship that's being developed through the sub mechanic on Kick with the streamer, and there's no like weirdness of like, it's cool and there's somebody's taking 50% of that, but all right, you know. And I think that actually plays a psychological role on the person streaming. People streaming on Kick feel better about the support they're getting, and they feel better being live. I don't know. And it probably goes with what Pickles was saying with that freshness of the platform is fresh, the support feels good, and you don't have anything in your head thinking, I need about, 50% more subs to make the amount of money that I actually need to make.
But the thing is, there's always going to be people who are okay with that, and especially like if Twitch starts shedding people, which whenever it does, like right, you can always see those people come out and be like, hey, like these guys here are not happy with the split. I'm a smaller streamer. I'm totally happy with the 50% split. Look at me instead. There's always going to be people who are fine with losing out on some money just to buy their ticket to fame. So again, to me it's all like I think it's just too early. I don't think that Kick is going to go as far as it's going as people think, but I would also like to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
I would be 100% okay with being proven wrong, but
what would you like to see Kick do? Oh, go ahead, Meats.
Me personally, and we kind of brought it up a little bit in chat. I need to spend more time just sort of lurking in the background on Kick. The culture so far hasn't really resonated with me. Just the types of streams that I ran into and like the types of like what's popular hasn't quite resonated with me, but I'm not a big streamer kind of person. They seem to have a really bigger focus on esports and gambling. There are smaller streams too, but it has more, someone mentioned in chat, has more of that kind of like bro energy.
I mean,
and like, I don't resonate with that, so I'm curious to see if like other more prominent cultures or communities within Kickstarter.
Wait, you're not a traditional woman? You're not? Just kidding.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is I just took a peek.
You want a
over
traditional
at
man?
Kick. I took a peek over at Kick, and the most popular category is gambling slots, with like 29,000 viewers, and half of those are a single channel. So that immediately makes me very suspicious.
It's not always like that. At certain times of day, it definitely
I know,
is.
but still, that to me that screams this is being bankrolled somehow and being floated, because there's one channel has half of the viewership of your by far biggest category. Not even like a category that's slightly edging out, like other categories.
No, it's got like
20,000
20,000 plus extra viewers in
30,
the category.
Like it's ridiculous. So that just makes me really suspicious about.
Yeah, no, I mean it has
Where it is and where it's going.
20,000 plus extra viewers above the next highest category.
Oh yeah, easily, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so many of the streams are still in that like esports, League of Legends, Apex.
Valorant, yeah, Apex, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
there's
that's
a
how
cool
Twitch is
hot tubs
too.
and bikini-
Right?
No, I know that, but looking through this, there doesn't like that's pretty much all there is at this point, right?
Right. Well, that's true. A lot of people don't even know this platform exists, and there's a lot of
so-
people who are half naked, and
All
doing
right,
doing their
it's
thing.
Like you do.
Yeah,
It's
but
time
that's
to become
happening.
The premier Elden Ring streamer on Kick. Let's go. I got
Well,
this.
okay. So, I think best case scenario, like
Oh yeah, just chatting. Don't even click in there. Oh my goodness. That was a mistake.
that was a mistake.
Oh, boy.
That was a
My
mistake.
eyes.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. But you know what? Twitch is like this too. I mean, if you spend enough time on Twitch, you'll find all this stuff. You still can't even sort just chatting by low viewers on Twitch. It won't let you do it because they know the people with the lowest viewers are they don't have a filter. Like the problems on Kick are magnified because there's less streams to browse. So you see this stuff right away. This stuff's all happening on Twitch too. It's just that way harder to find because there's so many more streamers. There's a lot more people on Twitch doing this stuff. It's just harder to find it. So
Yeah, no.
I
Doesn't
think
seem
best
buried in.
case scenario though is that Kick moves more towards 18 plus in general, and like just owns the 18 plus space, and then Twitch kind of cleans up and takes let's all move all the 18 plus kind of streamers move over to Kick and make that their home. You got gambling, you got nudity, you got smoking and drinking and all that stuff over there, and Twitch goes more like the YouTube direction and cleans up, right?
I mean, we made the joke earlier about just streaming to Pornhub, but that's basically what you're describing, right?
Yeah.
Well, but people aren't
No.
going to do it, so
Yeah, there's
No,
a bit of a stigma about watching something on Pornhub.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like casually.
yeah.
Casual, yeah.
Even though there's more people doing that than on both these platforms combined,
Well,
I still think giving like adult-ish entertainment a place, like a bar, like if Kick becomes like the bar adult hangout and Twitch stays 13 plus and more family friendly content, YouTube went more family friendly and they blew up because of it, right?
Yeah.
No,
I-
there's absolutely something to be said about that. Yeah, for sure.
I think
I'm just saying it's going to be hard though, and the reason it's going to be hard is because again, whenever you start like siloing these kind of things, right? Whenever you start saying like, oh, let's put all this content over here, there's inevitably going to be somebody who's going to go like, oh, hey, there's none of this content over on this platform. I sense an opportunity, right? And then people are going to follow after them because they see like, oh, hey, this guy or this person managed to grab a slice of the pie there, so maybe I should go do it too. I think it's very hard to just separate that out, right? To say like, oh yeah, all the 18 plus streamers are just going to go to Kick. It's just not going to happen.
no,
because
I don't. I think
there's always
that's
opportunity.
best case scenario is that kind of naturally happens.
Or they at least like kind of cater to that like not safe for work group, right?
And I feel like they are a little bit because they have like a identified thing in their community guidelines. It says tag your stream 18 plus. This is what a mature stream is. Like they need to embrace that more. Whereas on Twitch it's just so ambiguous. It's just like I
And-
think yeah.
And to some of the chat's point, right? The fact that it's not founded and created by the Meta and Amazon and whatever could be a benefit, right? It's because the individuals, depending on who actually holds the power at Kick, have a more realistic perspective. Because the problem a lot of times with these types of we're kind of the stepchildren, right, of a larger corporation, and some of the people higher up making those big decisions don't get it, right? They're just not in the ground zero, and
Right.
that's where a lot of the challenges with these types of places, where we struggle. And I mean, Twitch has been going through the CEO just stepped down, and they just did some layoffs because
they got some growing pains.
expanded from the pandemic. So I mean, this is a time of flux for them, and they've made a couple really just not ground zero thoughtful changes and incentives. So there's some benefit there too if you have someone who's making big decisions that actually, has lived it.
And they just
For
took
sure.
away the bigger sub split on Twitch. So any contracts that had like a 70-40, 60, or 70-30, 60-40 kind of split, like a higher split with Twitch, all of that is getting removed and going straight to 50-50 for all creators. So that's why a lot of people are like, well, dude, you know, I'm making $12,000 a month on Twitch, but I only get 6, and if I go to Kick, I can make 10 or 11. You know, let me try going to Kick and see if I can do this over there and make a lot more money. It's like a third or plus more income.
Right, but then you run into the same problem, right? With that when Twitch was blowing up during the pandemic, right? A lot of people saw perhaps, you know, not perhaps, but so erroneously, like, hey, look at all these people who are having success on Twitch. I can do that too, right? Just because somebody's making money on Kick doesn't mean that it's viable or possible for a large enough subset of people to make money on Kick.
Well, there's
Right,
always
that's
going to be
what I'm saying.
failures for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, it goes back to what I'm saying about not having enough data, right? We have no data that suggests that this is a long-term viable solution that importantly enough people can take advantage of to actually provide competition for Twitch. Because if it's just like a few people that are doing it, Twitch is going to ignore it, and it's going to go like all these other services where they either die off or have their own tiny little niche, and Twitch continues exactly as they have before, and that's
Yeah.
happened multiple times. So
I anticipate Kick's gonna become more of like a bro esports, like, yeah, not safe for, like, I anticipate what you're talking about, Sonny, is probably
More
what
mature.
it's gonna do, but I don't know how large of a like stakeholder share, if you will, it's gonna take in that sense. Like, 'cause that's the direction it already feels like it's going.
Yeah,
Just
for
from
sure.
going- like, I don't like Kick. Like, the time I've spent on Kick so far, I've just been like, oh, this is icky. Like, this is not my space.
and it's fine to if they do want to be that, right? If they want to be that
Yeah.
kind of like mature place
Oh,
for
yeah.
stuff,
Yeah, I think it's
That's
needed.
fine.
I think it's needed.
that's absolutely fine.
I think this stuff
Yeah.
needs to get off of Twitch for it to be successful. That's what I think.
Yeah, and that's fine. But like, you know, just again, I don't know if we should all be jumping on board that bandwagon just yet.
No, that's just
Well, no,
it
of
doesn't
course
fit
not.
with me, you know, and my content and what I want to do as a streamer at this point. But I could see a lot of people, even people that I enjoy watching on Twitch, might have a good spot there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would move over to watch them, to be completely honest, because of all the other things that I would be assaulted with and with.
Well,
by
I
going
don't.
over there.
I don't think anybody should exclusively stream to Kick. I don't think that's a good idea.
But is it a good idea to spread out your content like that?
Yes.
If it's the same format of content?
Yes.
I don't know.
I think
No.
so. I think it
I
is.
don't think
disagree
so.
completely. I feel like if you do stream on Twitch and then you decide to do a Kick stream, if you just do the same exact thing over on Kick, then like what's the point?
Right.
Yeah, you
know,
might as well.
It's just
be
reaching
streaming at
more
the same
people.
time.
It's about reaching
I
more
don't
people.
think that
So McDonald's
would
should have
work.
just left like one store open. They should have never opened a second one.
But that's not. That's
no,
about reach.
because that's not the
That's
same
about
thing.
physical
It is. It
yeah.
is the same thing where you're
No,
certain.
it's
'cause
like
it's-
saying, should McDonald's open a second restaurant chain called like Mac
McDarrell's.
Daddy's and then
Or
just
yeah,
still serve Big
some
Macs the
crap
same
like
way?
that. Yeah.
Well, but the
No.
difference too is there's no difference in accessibility. Like a restaurant, you have to go to.
Go
So yeah,
to.
you would need more because not everyone's gonna drive 300 miles to get to your restaurant. You know.
Yeah, but
Like the-
virtually
there's a
speaking, people don't. Some people just don't like Twitch, and that doesn't mean that they can't be a part of your audience or your community or join your Discord or know who you are.
Well, and
But if
yeah,
they don't
well,
like
some
Twitch, are
people
they
don't
gonna
like
like
McDonald's
Kick?
either. But hey, you know, like
Maybe they'll like Kick, but they have something against Twitch because they had a bad experience on Twitch.
well, some people like Burger King better, right? Because whatever
'Cause
they
they're
got out of
wrong.
a cold Big Mac.
'Cause
that
they're
night or
wrong.
something, you know, like
I
whatever.
feel like
Yeah.
we're trying to use a like fast food analogy, and it's like not a good
No.
analogy.
It's terrible.
God, it's terrible.
I still I don't see any negatives to streaming on both platforms at the same time.
I would. The only negative that I would say is one of them will have to inadvertently suffer, right?
In what way?
There's no. How do you pay attention to two chats?
Because most people only have 10 viewers.
Well,
And
what
that's
happens when you get more?
even
Isn't the
more
point to
than
get
10
more
viewers, yeah.
though?
Then you focus on the one that has more activity. It's not that hard.
So then you ignore.
You don't have to
So
focus.
you abandon the other one.
All
No,
right, so
no, you don't
use
have
it
to
for a while
focus.
and Tell us how it goes.
First of all, you don't have to focus on multiple chats. You can use tools and programs that will combine all the chats into one. It's very easy to do.
Okay, but then you're just broadcasting to multiple platforms, and you just that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think
Again,
that's
you're not committing to
oversaturation.
you're not committing to Kick at that point. You're just using it.
How
as
is it
another way to-
oversaturation and not just undersaturation?
Because
I just
the
don't
way,
see the
way
negative.
multi-streaming sounds, the way it's described to me anytime, is like you're looking at your phone while you're on a date. Like you're not paying full attention to
That's
anything.
a metaphor I
That's
like.
a good one. I like that. Yeah.
How,
Write that
I
one
don't
down.
I don't get how it works that way though, because you're just being live in front of people. It's like having two cameras on you and you're being broadcast on two TV stations at the same time. I don't see how it's
Yeah, but you're just it's
But you don't have to interact with those TV stations. They
Yeah, you
that
do.
for you.
You still have to interact in the exact same manner between all of them.
Well, no. So like, if let's say for example, like some sort of an event, right?
need
Like a
popcorn.
red carpet.
You're like, right? You're like,
Like let's say
Popcorn.
some event, right? Some red carpet gala, whatever, where there's a conceivable chance you're going to be like filmed by two different channels, or whatever. They come up to you, or somebody comes up to you, you're interacting with this reporter or whatever. You're just being you. You're doing your thing. You don't care who's filming you at that point because you don't have to directly interface with that TV station. You don't have to know anything about that TV station. You don't have to know how many viewers it has. You don't have to know what people are saying about you. You're just being broadcast out to wherever. Whereas in a live stream, there is the interaction bit. And if you're taking that away, if you're ignoring a part of it because hey, this one.
why
has
would
more
you
viewers
ignore a
right now,
part of it? How I don't
You
know.
just
I
have
don't.
to.
So my thought too is it also disperses your community. But I think one of the most valuable and important parts of a Twitch-like service is that feeling of community, of the people who are watching you together in the same place. And if you're able to make it so that they're able to very comfortably talk to each other and communicate with each other, maybe that would work. But you might be able to, as the streamer, see all the conversations. But I feel like the people who are interacting, the people who are talking
Okay.
during your stream, they're not going to have an easy time talking to each other. And
Okay. So
a lot of what happens is they talk to each other while you're streaming and they comment and they reply. And all of that kind of gets jumbled and lost if you're trying to stream to 4 different places because
Right.
they can't talk to each other.
Okay. So I think you're right. I think you guys are right, but you're not 100% right because you're missing a giant
You
portion.
say him.
No, no. Let me
I'm never wrong.
Let me
sir.
differentiate a little bit here. So there are different kinds of content that do work when you multi-stream, because, for instance, what you guys are more focused on is what your kinds of streams are, which is like very community driven,
Well, yeah,
hanging out with the chat, playing a video game. Now, but there are a lot, and there are a lot more streamers, especially on YouTube, doing educational content that doesn't require interactivity with chat. That doesn't, and the point of the stream is not the chat experience. The point of the stream is watching somebody fix a motorcycle or repair their car or paint a project, and they're talking about their painting process and what they're doing. There are a lot of those kinds of streamers out there. So if you're the kind of streamer where what you're doing is just people are just kind of gonna watch and learn from you, or you're having a podcast like this,
YouTube video then.
they're gonna do that too. Those people are gonna do that too. Because live streaming is good. It's another way to make a source of revenue. People will support you. They'll sub. I watch a lot of creators on YouTube that stream to Twitch just because people can do the whole like Prime sub thing and get free support from the community, and it does help, right? Even if it's just a couple $100 here and there, it's helpful to them. And they're going to stream it anyway. Then they're going to take that stream and they're going to chop it up into a YouTube video. And I watch a lot of channels that do this kind of content on purpose. So I really think it depends on who you are as a content creator, what kind of content you're making. If you're a chat focused, hang out with your stream kind of person, then you might have trouble multi-streaming. That might give you some trouble for sure. And you're going to want to solve those issues before you go live on multiple platforms. But if you're doing a podcast or interviews or talking and it's educational content and there's not as much interactivity with the chat, it may be a better idea to simulcast and like put everything out all at once. It's like I put the podcast up on a platform that puts it on every podcasting platform that there ever exists. There's almost no users on some of these podcast platforms. There's like 30 of them, and like I've never even heard of like 29 of them, right? I only like Spotify.
But we're on
We're
them.
on them,
Oh boy.
Yeah.
right? But because it's just you just upload it to one platform and it puts it out there on everything.
But again, that's a different thing, right? Because a podcast is a
Right.
static thing that you can go back and
Right.
look at, and it's meant to be like a recorded experience, whereas a live stream just isn't that. And I
Right.
know before anyone jumps at it, I know reruns exist. I know they're a thing, but like that's not why.
Are they a thing?
People don't watch reruns in enough quantity for that to qualify.
I
You
mean,
watch a
there's
live
exceptions
stream
to
because
that,
you
but
want to
yeah.
talk to the streamer, right?
Right.
For
That's-
the most part, yeah.
For the most part, I will give you that there are people who look for educational content and content that is informative on Twitch and on other live stream sites, but they are in a vast minority to people who want to interact directly with the streamer, with another human being. So
Yeah.
Because that's what Twitch has that is fairly unique. It's still clunky to do it on the other platforms, even YouTube
Yeah,
and Facebook. It's clunky to
Yeah.
interact with your chat.
it is.
Twitch is the space that actually is uniquely poised with that real-time, comfortable interactivity. I mean, if you ever try to watch a Facebook Live, it is painful to
Oh,
try to interact
seriously.
with.
And
It's
everybody's got their
terrible.
real name.
Right, it's terrible. TikTok Live, terrible.
Uh-huh.
Like all of it is just terrible and clunky, and like they superimpose the chat on the video, and like there's hearts fly. It's just no,
Mhm.
right? That's what Twitch does well. So if you take that aspect of Twitch away, if you know if you're that kind of streamer, if you're a streamer to be a streamer, not just like a deliverer of stuff and throwing spaghetti at the wall, you lose that.
This is where
I
Kick
think.
excels, though, is that they're doing it like Twitch. So, like, they have a good shot. I do think Kick has a good shot. I just hope it goes in the right direction. Really, honestly, the only thing I really want to have happen is Twitch to change. I want Twitch to change. I want less
I mean,
ads.
and that's fair, but I just like I said, I don't know if that's I don't know if Kick is the
I
way
don't know
to
if
do
it's
that.
gonna kick it off, you know.
Yeah, ha, 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 yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. We don't know. I wonder if there is any pressure from Kick's existence right now being put on Twitch. It is strange that they announced that sub-split change and the CEO stepped down and then they fired like 400 something people. There's a lot been going down on Twitch. Twitch looks like it needs to rebound or something, and it's struggling.
But Twitch has been in that situation multiple times, and it's always just chugged on as if nothing's going on. That's just how they roll. The 400 people got fired. I feel sorry for them, but that is a consequence of a larger company pruning off excess. They're probably going to rehire most of those 400 people with lower salaries or whatever. That's what they do. Like that's what corporations do is they cut down on talent and then just rehire cheaper. So like
Also, like we're looking at Kick and Twitch and all this stuff from like a content creator perspective, where we know like what it's like to be a streamer. A lot of viewers, like in general, have never streamed, and even when they did, they didn't know what they were doing, and so like if they're watching something where you're multi-streaming to multiple platforms, they have no idea what's going on. Like anyway.
Dude, your viewers are just dumb. It'll be fine.
All right. Any other?
I don't feel that way.
Yeah, thoughts. Or you don't feel that way. Yeah, yeah. Well, you're talking to people who watch your stream, so.
what I'll say, my final thoughts on it are like, listen, Kick is an alternative if you are the kind of streamer who would benefit from the kind of atmosphere they seem to have or are headed towards, right?
Mhm.
If you're a more mature type streamer, if you're maybe sort of the podcasty, sort of, less interactive streamer where you can do multiple spots all at the same time, yeah, Kick is definitely an alternative because they just straight up offer a better sub split and no ads. That's definitely an alternative. However, I think for the vast majority of people who are just getting into streaming, most people who are just starting out are doing the whole I'm building a community thing. They're doing the whole I'm growing from the bottom up, and I don't see Kick being receptive to that. To me, Kick seems more receptive to people who already have something that's a little bit established and are now just trying to migrate into a different space. Like that's how it feels to me. So
Yeah. So chat's asking about Artie and Matt Havoc's asking about partner and affiliate stuff. So affiliates are very easy to get over there. Just kind of the same thing. You just need some followers. Is it 75? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 75.
Yeah. And then you just need to stream for a bit. I don't know if there's any other requirements out of that, but from what I've seen, it's not difficult. And on top of that, you don't have to have affiliate to have emotes. You can already set up like your channel emotes and stuff over there without having any kind of affiliate status whatsoever. There's not, it's still in beta. There's, you can't like report streams. You have to like email if you find something you don't like or someone breaking rules. You have to like literally email their support staff and be like, these people breaking rules. There's I don't know, it's very basic over there right now in a lot of ways. So you feel like you could go over there and play Diablo 1 just to see? I mean, I think people should give it a try just to see what it's like. I've told a lot of people, like, just go try it. You know, it's close enough to Twitch that you might have an interesting experience. I'll say, like, the viewers that we've had on Kick, we've had close to the same amount of viewers at times on Kick to Twitch while we're streaming right now. Chat's not really active over there. A couple of people have followed. But
Okay.
hello,
you know, I've had we had 7 max viewers at one point, and I think we dropped to like 11 on.
hello, all the Kick viewers. How's it going?
So, yeah.
Don't want you to feel left out. Hello.
I'm sure not all of you are watching on both Twitch and Kick. Certainly not.
Yeah.
Certainly
No,
not. You
no.
would never do that.
Certainly not.
You would never.
I don't know, maybe not. So
If you are not on Twitch, but you are currently on Kick, say something in the Kick
Say
Chat-
something
chat.
in-
yeah.
chat.
Oh, there, somebody said something in the Kick chat. This is actually pretty informative to me because I've been faltering with Twitch and Kick. Did you come from Twitch, or are you straight up coming from Kick? Did you just browse Kick and find us? That's what we're curious about. So yeah, you did come from Twitch. So you saw our Twitch stream first. Yeah, I mean our Twitch stream. You came from our Twitch stream over to Kick to see if we were on Kick. I'm just curious.
Or maybe just coming from Twitch, like in general, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the
Yep.
thing. I don't think Kick is going to be pulling people who aren't already
No.
ingratiated with Twitch.
Not
right?
at this point. It's only what
Yeah.
at this point they're brand new. The only people that are going to even hear about Kick are Twitch streamers, right? And Twitch
Yeah.
viewers.
Because why else would you hear about Kick if you're not
Okay.
already interested in live streaming?
So Smalley, Smollie, Smalley says they browsed from Kick and saw the title and clicked. So they came to the stream. They found us from Kick. So if you're interested in
Yep.
Yay, our
right,
person.
yeah,
Thank you.
we found a person. They didn't come from the Twitch live stream, so we didn't migrate them over. So it's a new person. So this is what I have been seeing. Like, I've watched streamers who are struggling on Twitch stream on Kick just for a few hours, and they get a new chatter, they get a couple of follows, they get some viewers, way more than they were getting on Twitch. That's the part that interests me, is just watching people suddenly. They've been struggling with 5 viewers or less on Twitch for years. They go over to Kick, and you know, I know a guy who's at 80 plus viewers already. And,
I think that's partially like what we've been talking about the whole time, is like Kick is like old Twitch.
Yeah.
Like there are way fewer streamers, so it's easier to be found. It's easier to stand out from the riffraff and the noise. Like you can do better earlier because Kick is so new than you could on Twitch right now.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And if Kick dies, everybody's just going to come back to Twitch. So I mean, it's not really a loss if you build anything up on Kick.
Well, if you guys are also kind of new here, we do have a website and we have a community Discord. You guys can always go in there, join our Discord, and hang out with us, talk with us about this kind of stuff while we're not doing the podcast. InfiniteQuality.live. we'll give you. There's a join button, and you just join the Discord. And you know, if you have any questions, we have a lot of resources for stuff like helping people with their OBS and stuff like that.
And we all stream on Twitch. Some of us, I
Yeah.
guess, might stream on Kick at some point too.
This counts.
knows?
This counts. We're live on
counts, yeah.
YouTube, Kick, and Twitch all at once. Right? Birdman
And
was
then
watching
every,
on YouTube.
Every single podcast place known to man.
The nice thing about YouTube is if you do stream to YouTube, you don't have to pay attention to chat because the chat there sucks anyway. Like you can multi-stream to YouTube just to like have a VOD of your archives. That's what I think. You know, they don't even have to be live on YouTube, like kind of thing. You can just make them private or unlisted, and then like have a channel that just auto aggregates your YouTube video, like your backlog of your, because it's such a pain on Twitch to go and have to highlight all your VODs if you want to keep them. It's so much easier to just like multi-stream over to YouTube and let it archive over there automatically. Even if no one's ever going to look at it, it's for you. Like I still go back and watch old VODs of stuff that I made years ago. Just a reference thing. Somebody was asking me a question the other day about microphones for multiple people on the stream. And I was like, well, I used to stream with another person and we used this kind of microphone. Do you want to hear what that sounded like? And I was like, here's a VOD of what that sounded like from like 6-7 years ago. Having that stuff as a resource, it's not, I didn't put it on YouTube to like expecting it to blow up and be some huge YouTube channel. Just a nice little me. It's like having a diary or a backlog or a journal. Like it's for me. Yeah. my YouTube diary.
Although as our Kick viewer Sammy pointed out here, first of all, thank you for liking the usernames. If you are planning to stream on Kick at all, though, you probably should grab your username on Kick.
True.
Listen, whatever we said tonight,
that's a good idea.
you should probably snap those up before somebody else does.
Yeah, always. Always. Yep.
None of y'all go on there and take my name, okay?
I'm taking it right
Oh,
now.
no. Go get
Right
it.
now.
Go get it right now. Meets.
I'll sell it back to you though.
Yeah, exactly. For like $30. Yeah.
Oh,
Somebody's gonna
man.
do that, right?
I do.
That's gonna
I will
happen,
say,
right?
I do think I should spend some time looking at female streamers on Kick and just see what their chat interaction is like, because that's always something that I'm fearful of when I go somewhere new like that. Is like, how am I going to be treated because this is vagina? You know, and
True.
It's a weird concern to have, but it's a real one.
But it's a
True.
legitimate concern to have.
Well,
Yeah.
So
Right
I
now,
should
yeah.
definitely take a look and see what, non-pools hot, and they're fine. Like if you're doing the pool hot tub live stream, chatting, whatever. But if you're like just more on the gaming community side, how female
There are-
streamers are treated there.
Yeah, it's very interesting what's going on over there.
Kick is kind of like just the streaming equivalent of Vegas right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, where there's porn on the ground while you're walking. You're just walking right on the porn.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's
and
a
then you point it
casino.
out to somebody and they're like, it just
It's a,
happens.
it's a
Everything
flashy
kind of
casino.
You didn't
vaguely
point
smells
it
like
out.
cigarette smoke.
Yeah, certain parts of the street, it's
Feels
the
like
whole
it's stuck
street.
in the 80s.
Everything's too bright. Like
Yeah.
your eyes hurt.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you don't need to be in there.
Sammy Smalley saying, "As for gaming, it's very different from Twitch. In what way? I'm curious what your experience was, and also Pickles. I know you spent a bunch of time. Do you want to give us your thoughts on what just generally you had to say about Kick? Because I think
I mean,
you
I've
spent the
kinda-
most time.
I've kind of said it throughout. I don't think that streaming on Kick is a bad idea as long as you know what you're getting into with how it is currently. And like I said, if Kick fails, like people will be coming back to Twitch. I don't think that you should abandon Twitch if you're already
No.
on there.
Yeah.
Not at all. That's a
But
bad
I don't
idea.
think there's any harm in like doing one special stream a week over on Kick just for the fun of it, just to see what happens.
And I would say definitely involve your community in it. Make it an event. Make it a spectacle, because that's what it is right now. Kick is a spectacle. Make it a spectacle. So
I think, oh man, I'm still like bouncing back to this, but I really think the no ads and the sub split are huge. Just as an experience, just for you as an experience as a streamer, just streaming with no ads and an audience
Well, I mean, I
Again-
don't get to see the ads when I'm streaming.
Oh,
I
but
mean,
it's
and that might
so
be-
disruptive.
that might be why you want to tell your community about it, right? Because they may go there and go like, hey, this is.
I
kinda
don't
better,
have to
actually.
watch
Like, hey,
ads. Yeah.
hey, like you never know. So I would say definitely like, but again, that's if you have some community that you can do that with. If you're literally just starting out and you have nothing, right? Like,
Yeah.
again, maybe Kick might not be the best idea. Maybe it is.
I don't know.
Again, we should
Kick
maybe
still might
somebody
be
should try
fine.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you are starting from scratch, starting on Kick is probably going to be fine. 'cause
It'd
Yeah,
probably be
probably.
better than
Just
starting
way
on
less
Twitch.
saturated.
Yeah, I think the tricks we were trying to give people to grow their stream back in like 2019, 2020, 2018 maybe, where we were like choose smart games like 100 to 200 viewers where there's not a bunch of streamers. I think that strategy works on Kick right now. Like I think you can get to like 30, 40 viewers pretty quickly streaming in smart categories, whereas that strategy on Twitch just doesn't work anymore. It worked for a little while, but
So, yeah, Smalley's saying it does feel more interactive, but being so new, there's a lot more creeps
oh
than
yeah,
normal, and a
Yeah,
lot of
moderation
people
used to get
pushing
better.
the boundary of the mature content.
yeah, which might be what we need. Let's
Part of what's going on Kick right now is because it's seen as like the Twitch alternative that's more loosey goosey. Is they're going into people's chats who don't know any better, even though they should, and saying things like, "Oh yeah, Kick doesn't have a TOS. You're allowed to do whatever you want here," and then they just believe it because people in chat told them to.
right. Yeah, that's true.
There's a bit of ignorance on.
Also,
all
you know,
sides,
that
really.
4chan effect where like a new platform comes up and then 4chan's like, let's go over there and do a thing, you know, and like let's all create a different channel and make a giant thumbnail of a titty and like you know, yeah.
That's very
voice
accurate,
you have
actually.
in
It's
your
almost
head.
like you've been to
How they
4chan.
sound.
Yeah. Actually, I don't really spend much time over there, but I understand the psyche. It's not hard. What, you just become like 12, 13 years old in your head, and
Yeah,
They
just
think you're really
regress.
cool.
Yeah, regress mentally, yeah.
It's. I think there's some growing pains. It's gonna take a little bit, obviously, for Kick to kind of find its place, but I don't think it's gonna find a healthy place if streamers avoid it, and I think this is key. I think avoiding a platform because it might have problems or issues is not the way to solve those problems or issues. I think we need really solid, good streamers and good people to go to Kick and like take the reins and make it into something really good. Otherwise, it just becomes a void for all the trolls and all the.
I mean,
like,
I
how
don't
much of that-
mind
how much
with
Power
letting
do
us
you
all
actually
kind
have?
of
Yeah.
get all the trolls together and push them over.
That's
to Kick.
true. That's true.
fine.
Yeah.
That-
Let's do that. Just
that happened
that's
on
the trolls
Twitch.
place. Let's do
Right.
it.
That happened on Twitch when they finally made a pools category. Like everything started funneling
That's
down
true.
into there,
Yeah.
and the people who went there kind of just stayed there.
And
Like,
just
if
chatted.
You go
Yes.
through
Because, gravity and poop
I've
flows
been
downward,
honestly, like the last year or so, the amount of harassment that I've gotten while streaming has been very small. Like
yeah,
The
notably less.
A lot of them got banned off the platform, and people
Yeah.
just kind of just don't tolerate it as much anymore. It's not
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, it's not fun. Not fun to be trolled. So, yeah.
All right.
Well, we can hang out with people and continue to talk about this, but we should actually wrap up the episode for the official recording and all of that business. So, thank you guys, everybody, for hanging out. If you enjoy this content, check our website, infinitequality.live, and go check out all these beautiful streamers on their channels. Highly Pickles, Eat Your Meats, Snazzy Bastard, as
Take it
always.
away, Meats.
Go ahead.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and the bell notification on YouTube. Join us on Kick. Join us on all the things.
Discord.
Bye.
I
Discord
don't
and
remember.
everything.
I don't remember how this tradition started.
I just did it one day.
Oh, yeah.
We're just like,
that's how the
okay.
best traditions start.
Bye bye.